you? Like, tell us about who is Dave.
Dave is this wonderful person, you know, that everybody loves, you know. No, I'm playing, but Dave is this guy just dream chasing, man. Started in Dallas, born and raised, went everywhere, DeSoto, you name it. I done been to every school, and just growing up, it was first like when I got like buzz, it was off of dancing. I don't know if you know about the jigging era, but like it was a huge era that everybody's dancing. You had Sparrow, you had Sloppy Like Joe, you had all these T Jones, Jig Squad, you had all these different dance groups, and I was a part of a dance group called MVG. And literally, that's where it started off of, like with me, and the promotion side was dancing. I was dancing, and was out going to parties and stuff, was promoting. And then, of course, as I got older, I'm like, I'm not no dancing ass nigga, so I'm not gonna keep dancing. So.
So like one of the reasons why I felt like, you know, I wanted to sit down and talk to you in particular was because, you know, I seen you out there doing your thing. You had a lot of like business aspirations, a lot of business goals. And, you know, I'm looking at that from afar, like, you know, here's another guy who's from here who, you know, he's giving back in any way he can. And you know, everybody looks at giving back differently. Like, I might look at giving back as me just going out and doing service. But a lot of times it is serving people, and we can all look at that differently. So, you know, what are some of the things you feel like you're doing, whether it's related to your business or your brand or whatever it is to give back? Like, what is it?
Outside of the feeding the homeless events that I have, Lit Giving, which is a party that I throw around Thanksgiving, that people don't have to pay to get in. They actually pay with canned goods. I take those canned goods, and it's sponsored by North Texas Food Bank, and I go take the canned goods to North Texas Food Bank to feed the homeless during the times like that. But even besides that, with Cozy, with my brand.
That's what the bread and butter is.
Yeah, okay. So a lot of that's where my give back is. Me building my name up as a person out here, as a promoter, and doing different business ventures. I tend to go grab guys that I see with potential, and I go and slap a cosign and market their business for them free of charge. So when you look back at it, when you say give back, I gave back. I made guys #1 in the city.
So before we even go that route, right? You mentioned Cozy. What is it? Like, because we talked about some of the things that you said fall behind Cozy. What the acronym is? Like, can you break it down?
Okay.
What is Cozy?
So typically when people see Cozy, it's considered a social group. Cozy is not a social group. I real life glad that I'm having this talk with you, so everybody can know Cozy is not a social group. It's a business group. It's a business entrepreneur group that use all our platforms to market each other. So basically, you come to Cozy, okay, you want a haircut, you can go holler at MJ.
Right.
You need your bachelor party plan, you need a concert, you need a nightlife event, come holler at me. I'm the party guy. You know what I'm saying? You want your car wrap, go holler at EJ. You might want a song, you might want some production. You got Sergeant J, you got Legend, you might want a videography. You got Mud, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You want Ben, he do photography. So it's really a one-stop shop. And what I did was I built a platform for all of us to market each other, like, to the world. So like we can all, no matter what, nobody get left behind. So like you got a couple guys that might be big right now, but then we keep marketing somebody that's busy, not as booming right now, maybe then in the future. Because it all comes with time. Nobody knew Corona was going down. I used to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At one point it was all about, I ain't gonna say just all about me, but I was the captain at one point. It was, okay, events. Everybody can go to parties. Everybody can do that. Well, with Corona coming right now, I can't do my bread and butter. So then you got dudes that's essential right now. Everybody want their car wrap. So you go holler at EJ. Everybody still need a haircut. You gonna go to MJ.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to Cozy stands for confident, original, zealous, young. It's basically inspire the youth. When you look at the kids growing up, I know when I grew up, you only looked at three things. You looked at somebody that was on the field, that was on TV, or that was rapping on the mic.
Right.
So like with us, where we're trying to change the narrative of, you don't have to do that. You can chase your dreams.
Right.
Always, but it's real life what the people tell you growing up.
Yeah.
They tell you chase your dreams, but they don't have it right there in fine print where it say, everybody's not gonna make it to where you're going. You hear that from your parents, so
Oh yeah.
that's typically how it went.
So I came into this city, and I was able to find myself, find my career. I went the corporate route, and the last thing that I really was worried about in corporate America was what's the next person doing. I saw a lot of like, you can get your foot in the door, and once your foot's in the door, you can make your impact, but working for somebody else. So the difference between me and you is, at least in my career right now, like I'm confined to working for somebody else. But in your case, you're self-made. You're doing things the way that you want to do it. So like when you look back at your come up, how did you get from growing up in Dallas, however you came up, how did you go from that to here's a foundation, here's something that I want to take to the next level and invest in that. Tell us about the origins.
Okay, so how I came about it like that with being where I'm from, you get told a lot of things that's like you can't do.
Right.
Like in the city, you can't do this. Nobody support each other. You hear all these different type of things, and my thing was real like changing the narrative and controlling it. Cause you hear that, and then in the same sentence they go and tell you can be whatever you want to be.
Right.
So okay, I'm gonna go with the be whatever I can be, and then when you tell me, oh, you can't do that, I'm gonna take a loss if I do it and it goes bad. But if I do it and it goes good, then what?
Right.
So that's typically how it happened. I went against the grain on a lot of things. There was times where I was told, nah, bro, that's not gonna work out. And then once I did it, it worked out. It was, oh yeah. Oh, so now it's a we thing. We win it when it worked out, but then before that, it was he tripping, bro. I don't know what he doing. That's just how that's how it happened. Like it came across that just building my name up, meeting people, being genuine, being cool, not screwing over nobody. So I could have went to go be a scammer. I know everybody. Like, I could have did this, did that. No, like I wanted the right way. I went about it the right way, and people seen that early. And then with me being the guy that I was growing up, I wasn't the guy that they seen that was gonna have their own business. At 19 years old, and counting and keep coming. Like when they seen me, it was I was fighting. I was partying. I was doing whatever. Like I was at alternative school. I was doing a lot of stuff bad growing up, but it wasn't like it was like something that I pride myself on. I barely talk about the past, but like if you know me, you'll know like they wasn't the guy like that. That's why it's just crazy. Like the table when they say tables turn, it's crazy because back then you'll see the girls, even guys, they'll clown you. Oh, I failed the 9th grade. I had to repeat it. At DeSoto, it's a thing that they call freshmore, where since they have a freshman campus, you taking half freshman classes and half of the classes at the high school.
Right.
They seeing me, they making jokes, cool. Them same people, like I'm like, where y'all at? But I'm not one of those type of guys. I didn't turn the narrative to make it to shit on nobody.
Right.
Now I changed the narrative to show y'all like you can do whatever you want to.
You can do exactly what you want to do.
Yeah, it's just one of them things.
That's like the crossroads, because where we're at right now in this generation is, how do I even find out what it is I want to do? I don't know about anybody else, but I struggle with that all the way up until close to graduation. But on the flip side, when I look to my peers, to my left and my right, when I look towards the people that I mentor in the same predicament that I was in, a lot of us don't know what it is we want to do. So how did you jump from here I am, living my life and I'm getting into trouble, or I'm not doing things right, to here's a purpose, here's a foundation, here's how I'm gonna run off and give back, or rather just live my life for what my purpose is.
That's what I touch on, because that's one of the biggest problems. I'm talking to the younger kids now, or that's in that find myself era, is the live your life moment. Nobody is doing it at this point. Everybody is real life looking at the next person saying, okay, they doing this and they're my age.
Trying to compete.
I need to have what they have.
Right.
No. Right. I was never that guy. And I think that's probably the difference between me and a lot of people growing up, because I know kids that went through school that had cell phones.
Right.
David didn't have a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? 18 years old. I didn't have my first cell phone until I was 19 years old.
Same.
So I didn't have a cell phone. So I'm on the house phone. You know what I'm saying? Talking to people whenever I can. But I feel like that's what made me the guy that I am. Like outspoken, being able to talk to anybody. I meet somebody here today and talk to them. They think that I've been knowing them for so long because I'm talking to them. I'm analyzing them. I'm knowing everything. But it's because I didn't have those. I couldn't hide behind no phone. I couldn't go and talk to no. When I'm out at school, I gotta make the most of it, and that's probably why I got in so much trouble that I did get into. But I was just I was just out there, and so like back to what you were saying, it was just one of those things like living your life. A lot of kids right now like are looking at social media is really what's messing up a lot of stuff, but at the same time it's making people go-getters more than anything in my city. Because people,
it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where it's like you introduced to something that can brainwash you, but at the same time it's brainwashing you to get on your shit.
And more tools. It's resources.
So it's one of those things. I'm just looking at it. So that's basically one of the main things was just living life. But that transition from bad to actually want to do something like, I finally started seeing like it's a marathon, not a sprint. So like when I was doing all these things,
rest in peace Nipsey.
I'm thinking for R.I.P. Nipsey for sure. But when I'm doing all these things, I'm thinking like this gonna be my life. I'm like, not one day I just stop. I'm like, no, it's not. Like I can change. Like I can change this, and I can go and do this. Like you can do whatever. So that's one thing that I would tell every young kid. If you got something that if you out here, you trying to figure out your purpose.
Yeah. And
you don't know exactly what you want to do, but you got 1,000 things you want to do. Make that checklist. Go down them.
Whichever one works.
Go down whichever one works. Something's gonna pop because I hate to be spiritual because I don't know who all spiritual. You know, I believe.
Ain't no nothing to be ashamed of.
I'm with the man upstairs, and I truly believe that everybody has a purpose. And in order to fulfill your purpose, you have to be doing something in life that you love. Right. And that's how it came. Like I was chasing after basketball. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the best. I was always with the athletes. I was always with the class clowns. I was with everybody. But then one day I stopped. I told myself, I'm with everybody. I should have something that everybody show up to. Have fun. Do my first pool party. It was this pool party called Classic Turn-Up. Threw it in the country. It was like 20, 30 minutes out from Dallas. 1,500 people. Whole club, going crazy.
It's your first event?
My first ever party. It's on Say Cheese TV. It's on Say Cheese TV right now. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sean Cotton. Smooth boy. But yeah, first party. Wow. Smacked it. I'm like, okay.
You had something.
Right afterwards, you know what I'm saying? Made some money. You know, I don't really want to talk about the money situation, what happened. But the money wasn't even the thing I was just like so proud of. I like going on my phone and seeing people adding me on social media sites and saying, bro, I had a blast. I enjoyed the time. So in my head, I took that and I'm like, this is my purpose. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is my first event. It's this big.
Right.
I'm liking people coming to tell me what they liked about at the end of the night event planning.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because at this time, I'm not really introduced to what promoting actually is. I'm saying, okay, I'm an event planner. Like, I'm going to get it. So I started doing my studies on everything. Weddings, concerts, basketball tournaments. I'm trying to figure out everything. And then, like, from there, once I went there, I didn't know nothing about fast food with school. My parents didn't go to college. So I don't know anything about that. So at that point, I'm like, I'm at home. I'm finna just be the party person in Dallas.
Yep.
Start doing that, then finally ran across somebody like, dude, you know you don't gotta come out of pocket for school. It's a thing called fast food that'll help you out, and you'll get a refund. So I'm like, oh, I'm getting paid to go to school? They tell me how they get 3 bands, 4 bands back? Sign me up, I'm going to school. I wasn't even school type. Parent told my parents one day that I got accepted into a school and everything. They looked at me like, well, hey, you got accepted? Like, they shocked. Like, you want to go to school?
Right.
They trying to send me to the Navy.
Yeah.
Went off to school. Kinesiology, I'm like, nah, I'm not into it. Like, I am into sports. And, you know what I'm saying, kinesiology could have lead me to like, being a coach or something. But then, like, I asked my advisor one day, I'm like, this is what I like doing. I'm real big on social media marketing. I like doing events. What should I do? She's like, marketing, business. You should be a business. I'm like, okay, She giving me the breakdown. Now, out of nowhere, she's like, you know, you should start. You should start your own business. I was like, well, I am starting, but I gotta build my name out here first. She's like, okay, cool. And literally, like that one conversation with her telling me I've never had no grown adult. My own parents never even told me that. Start your own business. Like I see the excitement. Like she was telling me she seen the desire, the burning. Right. When I'm talking about like events and how like people like being excited about it and everything. So she like, no, you should start your own business. Like you should go into like promoting and doing that's my fair first new. Like, okay, so throwing a party ain't throwing a party, that's promotion. That's what it typically is. But And high school wise, before you get into that type of stage, it's throwing a party to us. But nah, that's promoting.
You know, I made a decision, applied to a school up here, to UNT, and, you know, I got in, only school I applied to. Went to UNT, I failed my first semester, just pooped it, you know, partying. First of all, I came to UNT after I finished my associates, not knowing what I wanted to do. So when I came here, you know, I'm trying to figure myself out. Failed. I went to advising. So the same way you went to advising, maybe asking some of the same questions, I went into advising thinking that I'm gonna get some of that same advice that you got. You know, I'm like, okay, well, I'm been between computer science and political science. You know, I either want to become a politician or I want to go to technology route. I didn't know. So the advisor sat me down, she put up my grades, and she looked at them, and, you know, the first thing she said was, well, you're on academic probation. I'm like, yeah. You know, I'm trying to figure it out. She's like, well, do you have an idea? And I told her those same things, you know, poli-sci, computer science. She literally told me, with my GPA, with my situation, the best option I had was to join the military or drop out. Can you imagine sitting in and, you know, this person's supposed to have your back, this person's supposed to give you the best advice for you to overcome your situation? Stay in school. That's what we're always taught, right? Like, I don't know about you, but my mom and pops, they was like, the best thing for you was school. No matter how bad I did, they were like, if you were able to just figure this out and stick here, you know, for me, that was the best way out. And for me to sit there in front of an advisor who told me, you're done for it. Like,
who job that the reason why she's getting paid is because you're in her office.
I'm in her office. For me to hear that, it was fuel. It was like, nah, like you're telling me something that I should have already answered for myself. I should be telling myself what it is I want to do. Maybe it isn't that I need to go get advice, which like, you know, in your situation, you got great advice. I would always want to be in a predicament where somebody can mentor me or give me good advice, but to hear bad advice from somebody who I didn't know, who didn't know me, and to look at me and tell me that the end of the road was near, I just took that. And, you know, I think within that year, I figured it out. I was like, I'm going to go in tech. I'm going to pass every class. I'm gonna handle business, and I'm gonna figure myself out. I'm gonna figure myself out right here in this city, and, you know, whether it be me figuring out my career or figuring out, you know, who's the woman of my dreams or whatever, I know that I'm gonna go hard with everything I do while I'm here. So, you know, that's crazy to have the difference in experience, but at some point, you know, we had to figure out our own. So that's big.
What's wild about the advisor telling you something negative like that is that that's becoming a trend, and that's wild because y'all that's not y'all job. Y'all job is to help us continue to be on the path to graduate. But I'm getting a lot of you're not the first person I heard where you step into an advisor office and they telling you to basically you shouldn't be here, and it's wild and it's weird because that's not your job. Like, at least with the advisor I talked to, I was at TJC, by the way. She had already seen what route I was taking, and she like, even with the grades, because the school was easy, TJC was easy. I was just making life for her because, I mean, I am a freshman, so it's like I'm looking at it like, okay, well, I'm on my own. College is high school without parents. So like, at this point, I'm not taking responsibility. I'm not going to class, all that. So when I finally talked to her, and my grades was terrible, I probably had like a 1.8 that semester. And when I talked to her, I was telling her like, nah, I mean, I wanted to be a coach, but that's not where my love is. My love is throwing parties. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know what the word marketing meant at the time. So I probably said something about putting people on or putting businesses on. And that's what she told me.
Right.
She said, "Oh no, marketing needs to be what you do. That's what you like doing. You have a joy for helping people out or seeing people have a good time, and you getting feedback. So get into marketing." So that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you know, kudos, man. And shout out to the person that gave that advice, because I know that really did a lot to shape where you're at now. When you kind of look upon all of the current atmosphere of, you know, all the politics that we're dealing with, the systematic racism, the different lenses you could possibly look in that maybe affect your path, what would you say is like the one that's most like overbearing or the biggest challenge or obstacle in front of you, especially as a black man?
The biggest challenge right now for me, with me being a young black business owner, it's the doubt, because even with right now with what we're going through, it's kind of becoming a race war. And with some of the resources that I'm trying to have, because no, I don't believe in working for nobody, but some of these companies do have what I need, like me even showing them on paper. Hell, we could just talk about some of the clubs out here, like Uptown Dallas. I walked into, I'm not gonna say the club name, but I walked into one club, man, trying to market for them, promote for them, and I gave them my bar sales, them not knowing that I have a website that I can look at every club bar sales, see who does what. You know what I'm saying? See who's number one, see who's number two, like who does what. So I'm already seeing what type of numbers they're bringing in. I'm showing them that I done did whatever numbers that they doing times 3. Right. I got a crowd for it, all that. This is during a time where this is one of the spots that's gonna be open. Like even during the shutdown, they were open. Like right. Even right now, they're open still. So it's like I'm trying to hurry up and get en route to where I'm okay even with a lockdown, because I'm not gonna be able to do what I typically do. Yeah. So I'm trying to have a position. And the dude just downplayed me, I guess, because I was underdressed. He talked about
for whatever reason.
He talked about somebody that just came in before me, and it was a black guy that came in before me, but he had on Gucci, and he was talking about all these different things. I'm like, fam, I'm in your face in a jumpsuit and some Yeezys on, but you're so focused on my appearance to where I'm showing you on paper what all I do, and video proof, picture proof, everything proof to show you what all I do. And you want to tell me because it was a guy that came in here that you should have hurt, and you know what I'm saying?
So the fact that you couldn't even be yourself was a problem.
And trying to get you to let me come in, I'm trying to take, not even the weekend days, I was trying to take a weekly, just a little regular weekly day. And you profile me because I have on a jumpsuit and some sneakers to tell me a guy that came in before me got all this money, and he wore this, he wore that, and look down the line, the same guy that was talking about they threw the party, it was nothing. He didn't even meet their standards. So it was just, I bring that up just to show, like, right now in the world, like, it don't matter what you, like, how you approach it, like, when it comes to the different race thing, like, they don't want to mess with you, they don't want to mess with you. They see me, they like, okay, it's a little young guy, like, he damn near called me Dusty, that's what I feel like. I'm just looking at him, I'm like, fam, like the car that I got outside, that foreign outside, I paid for that cash. Like, then when I look at him go and get in his car,
you judging me before you even know how
you judging before I even do business. Just because I have on a jumpsuit and some sneakers, and I'm trying to talk to you about promoting, you would want to talk to me and tell me that I'm probably not good enough. I'm not gonna bring you the service that you want. Consider just because this is how I'm presented.
You know, when all this protest and rioting and everything else like that was happening in your city, like, what did you feel? What did you get out of it? Like, what was your initial perspective? And then what do you think is done to maybe awaken something else that's in you? Because I know for a fact that that's definitely woke me up a little bit more to kind of go in the path of going hard for everything I truly do believe in.
Okay, so with the protesting and everything that was going on in the city during this time, I'm gonna be completely honest. In the beginning of it, I thought it was a bad idea. Don't get me wrong, I'm all about Black Lives Matter. I've been in so many situations where the white man did your boy wrong, but I'm real life. I'm not gonna say I'm real life into theories, but like I real life thought that was like a setup because Corona was one of the biggest factors, and they brought the protesting thing out, and I felt like they was trying to get everybody sick. That's how I felt in the beginning.
Right.
And then once I seen so many people that I come in contact with all the time, they out and they protesting.
What type of people did you see?
What you talking about as far as...
Like, who did you see in the crowd? Because I don't know about you, but I saw 18, 19, 20-year-olds.
I'm seeing young.
The huge, young crowd.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm looking on my socials. They out here. So that's what I started doing. You know what I'm saying? Seeing what people was on, seeing what was their reasoning for protesting, and I got the whole gist of it. And then I'm seeing the young coach. That's what I'm saying. When I see the young coach out there, I'm seeing our peer. Like I'm like, okay, like we are the change. Like that's what we need to be. Right. So let's stand for what's right. And it shocked me. It had me mind blown. Like it was really inspiring to say the least. But everybody was outside. Everybody was going hard for it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I'm like, okay, good. Let's do it then.
Yep.
Who want to protest?
Yep.
I'm linking with people. Hey, let's go protest. Difference between me and a lot of people, though, I went out there for the pictures.
Right.
Oh yeah, I went and protested. You didn't see me posted on the internet though.
Right.
You know, I should have, cause I influenced other people to do it. But hell, everybody.
But you knew you was there for the right reason.
And then a lot of things, it became a trend at one point.
Protesting portion became a trend, not just like in our communities, but it became a trend everywhere. Like whether it was our community or white folks or like whoever, Black Lives Matter, protests and all that stuff at one point really just became a trend. And so for me, the earliest protest, the first day, mind you, I live downtown, so I'm in front of everything. The first day of seeing these protests break out, I'm like, man, like, I can't even put it into perspective of like what's going on. I know that people are out here because George Floyd just got murdered. Then I'm seeing how do you explain it? Like I'm seeing people going crazy, looting, rioting, breaking into stuff. I didn't know how to feel. I'm like, that, it's crazy, but at the same time, I'm like, these people are mad. These people are like angry, not just because of the simple fact that George Floyd just got murdered and there's injustices going on all over our country, all over the globe. But the people who are mad, who are here protesting in this city, they're mad because they faced something. They're mad because whatever they went through, it's touching them to also be able to relate to every other city who's also having these protests, who's also going through the same struggles. You know what, J. Cole has said something in one of his songs, I think it was High for Hours. One of the things he said at High for Hours was, his dad made him pack up his suitcase and you coming to Dallas. I think his dad maybe he had some connections with Oak Cliff and they were staying out here. So he packs up his bags, he comes to Oak Cliff and he was expecting everything to be like Alice Wonderland, like it's gonna be a great time. I'll come here for the summer just to experience it. But in reality, he got here and the same bullshit he was seeing in Dreamville, he came to Dallas and saw the same shit. Saw the same people suffering from the same shit he was suffering from halfway across the country. And that did something to him. It inspired him. It made him feel like, I know I'm not alone, my city's not alone, we're all going through it. And it's all happening right where we're at. And it's like, when you put that into perspective, I think that kind of like resonates a little bit different. I'm seeing these protests. I know what I've seen back home in Virginia. I know what I've seen my brothers go through in the legal system. And, it's a scary world. So for me to be seeing these youngins out here fighting not just for what they're experiencing, but what everybody in the city is experiencing, especially as minorities and Black folks, like, taking that on and going out in the streets, regardless of what cop, what person in position of power or power ahead of you has over you, tear gas, all that stuff. Like for you to go out there and fight for it, I'm with you. I'm like, I'm going out there. I'm gonna be out there protesting for the same thing that I experienced halfway across the U.S. and I want to be a part of that. So to be able to be in this city and watch it live, and then also be a part of it. It's changed the game. A lot of people right now, because of the pandemic, are kind of like grounded. Like they kind of like sit in the situation, kind of waiting for things to die off, not knowing that we already here. So you should be using this situation to lift off. You got every opportunity, especially if you ain't got no kids, you ain't got no wife to take care of. At the end of the day, it's just you. This is the time where you just launch. Because everything that we're experiencing right now should be fueled. It should be like, I know that because I'm a part of this, the only thing that I can do is do my part personally. Revolution happens within. It's not necessarily this big thing where revolution is sold as a movement of like a group of people on the same shit necessarily. You can't get to that point until you solve it within yourself. And I think like that's what happened. When I seen everything going on, I had a revolution within myself to stand up and to take off.
Honestly, to quarterback off what you're saying with everybody, this would be a launching pad. I feel like everybody start from zero right now. Like all businesses, anybody that was ahead of the curve, like you start from zero. In the field that I'm in, so. I don't know. I really like to take it day by day because with one thing that I did notice, this happening, you never know what's next. I would never think in 4 years ago, 5 years ago, that it'll be a time where I cannot throw the event and bring a lot of people out.
Yeah.
And then when this summer came,
you had to cancel the event, didn't you?
You have a national, people from the nationals coming down to meet with you in the office just to tell you, hey, we heard it was 5,000 people coming to a pool party that you having. That's damn near close to it being a second wave of corona. You can't do this. We have y'all outside though. Y'all gonna follow all the rules, everything, but you can't have this party. Even if you told us it was gonna be 1,000, which the capacity of the place was 4,700. Even they told me even if we was to follow the guidelines, do 50%, which was like, you know what I'm saying, around that 2K area. No, can't do it. Yeah. So it gave me a whole different mindset. Like find a trade, find you know what I'm saying, find something that
all this time you got. That slowed down, huh?
Become essential.
Right. Become essential, and then thinking about what is essential to you. That's another thing.
Because that's all I looked at. I'm like, okay, I can't. When I say become essential, like because I still think having fun, turning up, doing events, that is still essential because people need to get out. People need to get out, have fun, clear their head, all those things. So that's still essential. But when I say essential for a check, find something essential because when it comes to hustles, or if you have a hustle that might have seemed essential before the pandemic, this you really see the only hustles that real life, you know.
The essential hustles.
That's all you see because
what do people need right now?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And most of the hustles are risk. So that, you know what I'm saying, that goes back to me telling people, take risk. But from my story, what I want everybody to hear from me is never be afraid to go against the grain. That's one of the biggest things that I see everybody want to fit in. Be you. Business wise, never go down on your price. You gonna always attract the crowd that's meant for you. So just be you, and don't be afraid. Be confident. Like I said, Cozy stands for confident, original, resilience, and young. Be confident. Like you won't get nowhere in life without being confident. So yeah.
So many people that they need